All right, good evening, folks. We're going to start in about 5 minutes, 4 minutes. Start in about 4 minutes. I don't have my Apple Watch on. Kristen, Kristen, you and Reagan, I want you to come up, okay? You don't have to stand up here, but I have a microphone for you. All righty. Well, I have 8 o'clock, so let's get started. Welcome, everyone. Good evening. Good evening. Thank you. Thank you for taking time out of your evening to sit with us. I thought we'd have more people. I didn't know maybe a Seinfeld rerun or something, but thank you for coming. We are broadcasting this live tonight, and you were sent a YouTube link. So any of your friends that did not show up tonight, let them know if they would like to watch a rerun of the your town hall meeting. It will be available on that same link. Tonight's agenda: we have a report by the club president, Michael Kartz, and then we will have a comprehensive treasurer's report, and then we'll open the floor for Q&A. For those that are watching YouTube live right now, you can submit a question live to townhall, TOWNHALL, at gleneagles.cc. So townhall.cc, they'll come to Catherine. She'll run them up here. Questions, when we go to Q&A, you can direct a question to the board, or I'm happy to answer questions as well. Let's see. I would like to welcome our returning board members who did a fantastic job, and we have one new board member, Zena Horowitz, excuse me. And as you probably are well aware, it's been an extremely busy year with the renovation of the Victory Golf Course wrapping up. We're preparing for the tennis center. We sent a link out today, which has the tennis center brochure. Tells you about the some of the design elements. It lets our tennis pickleball players know how they're going to enter and exit the pickleball facility. We've got a temporary office for the tennis center. So if you get a chance, you want to see it, you don't have to be a tennis member. We sent it to everybody. Record food and beverage covers. So I think if you've tried to get a reservation for a Sunday brunch, you may have been bumped. We have set record attendances going as far back as 2002. If you've played in a golf couple event, we've sold out a lot of those, as well as golf in general. We will be coming off cart path only on the Victory course end of March, maybe the first week in April. So we look forward to that. For those of you that have not been able to play the Victory course, it's right around the corner. And I'd like to thank the members for your support and all of the activities. It's unbelievable. I've been here 18 years, and looking back, this is one of the busiest years that we've seen. Golf kind of went like this over the years and then kind of plateaued off, and now it's definitely doing this. And the same with food and beverage. We looked at 2 years ago. Covers are up and dining across the board. This year, they're ahead of budget, and so we're expecting a good finish to the year. You've probably heard about conversations about the clubhouse renovation. I'm just going to do a real high-level, quick conversation because you will be engaged throughout the entire process. The renovation of the clubhouse as it sits today was 2014. Right now, we're going through an extensive investigative process. We're engaging members. We started with focus groups. We finished those. And then we have something called a charrette. So based on the focus group information that we gathered, we'll probably have as many as 30 members. It's some committee members, board members, there's oversight, and there's renovation committee members. Architect, contractor, engineers come in, and we actually sit with the drawings, fourth iteration of the conceptual. So we've gone through 4 iterations of what we think the members would like. And then the architect will sit with the contractors and the engineers and go through kind of a live changes to the drawings. So we'll say, hey, what do you think about, for example, do we want a bar on the veranda? Well, we like the bar over here. Well, what? Okay, no, I think, what about over here? He goes through the sketch and shows. So that charrette will then prepare us to send a survey out with conceptuals, 3-dimensional renderings, a survey to the general membership. Everybody will have an opportunity to look, and our goal is to say, okay, here's what we're thinking of doing. We'd like feedback, we'd like input. We don't want to redesign through the membership, but we'd like to know if, are we on the right track? Important to know, no timeline has been set, but we're looking at possibly, the date that we're looking at is 26-27. We were looking at 25. There was no way to prepare properly for it's comprehensive clubhouse renovation as well. And then no budget has been set. There's no budget. Nothing's been set yet. We have some ideas. We've only got, you have to kind of say, okay, what do we think the budget's going to be? You don't back into it, though. You create what we feel is the best renovation, the best design elements, and then you work with a contractor and you figure out, okay, what's it going to cost? And then we have to figure out, is this a budget that's realistic? Is it something that the members would support? And that's the way that we'll go through the process. You've probably heard, maybe you've heard about the parking, and raise your hand if you've heard about the parking discussed. No? Okay, good, you haven't heard about it. We clearly have challenges with our parking. And so, interesting, back as far back as 1995, there were drawings of a parking structure here at the club. kind of got put away. And, you know, if you come in at 11:30 or 12 in the morning on a Wednesday or a Tuesday, or actually just about any day, there's no parking. So we're looking at some solutions. We have anything as comprehensive as a parking deck. And then there's some other options that just recently I've looked at with some of the members of the board, and maybe it's just revising the entire parking lot itself. Maybe we can gain additional spaces, but we're probably, my guess is looking at what the valet is parking out on the roadway. It's probably 45, 50 cars. It could be a little more than that. So clubhouse, parking, we will engage you throughout the whole process. There will be no surprises. And we look forward to moving through that. If you have any questions, again, at the end of the presentations, you know, feel free to ask questions about the renovations. You know, we'll provide as much information as we have. I'd like to have Kristen and Reagan come up, please. So I'm proud to announce leadership changes. Kristen's been here 16 years, and I think, believe it or not, most of you probably don't know this, but Kristen started in the Golf Pro Shop as a Pro Shop manager. Okay, maybe you do know. And Reagan has been here 18 years, and he started in the dish station. But he was, oh, no, wait a second. I'm really proud, though. They've been elevated to clubhouse managers. You know, as you know, Nick Jolly has left. We did not replace the AGM, the assistant general manager. Kristen and Reagan have proven that they have what it takes to take up those additional responsibilities. Kristen and Reagan are working through the CMAA club management program. And Kristen, I think you will wrap it up in 24. And Reagan will be right behind her in 25. So they will actually be certified club managers through CMAA, Club Managers Association of America. And it's a lot of work to go through that. It's a lot of work. I didn't do it. I would have never made it. But no, in all seriousness, I am extremely excited. We do have a pink boomerang for Jason Forstall. As you know, he's come back. And it's wonderful to have Jason back. You know, I'm fortunate. I've been here 18 years, and our turnover on our core staff is really, it's non-existent. Our average tenure of our staff is about 5 years, but that's 275 employees. And we're fortunate. It's because of you, the membership, and the environment that you create by being kind to them and appreciative, and allowing us, you know, paying your dues and allowing us to give them reasonable increases. That's why these staff stay here. So we thank you very much for that. Lastly, you probably have or may receive a Pulse survey. The Pulse surveys are extremely important to us. It's a quick 5-6 question survey after a tennis event, after a member guest, after a dinner, and we want to know, had we 5 or 6 questions and a spot for comments, we want to know how we did. So please, if you receive the Pulse survey, it's not a long one. It'll take you 25 seconds. Fill it out. We download it. We share it with the staff. Names are not important who filled it out, but it really helps us. It's kind of live reporting on how we did the night before. So if you could do that, we'd appreciate it. With that, I want to thank everybody for your support. We really appreciate it. Thanks for coming tonight, and I'm going to hand it over to your club president, Michael Kartz. Thanks.
Greg, thank you very much. Okay. I want to welcome everybody to the annual meeting. I would like to say that I will keep this short, but I can't promise that. So, as we move on to the 2023-2024 year, I would like to reflect on what happened in the past 2022-2023. It is a significant understatement to say that it has been a busy year. And I'm going to talk about some of the accomplishments that we've made this year and with this great team we have here. We started and completed an amazing renovation of the Victory Golf Course that we have had nothing but accolades about from all of our membership at this point. Only complaint is that their scores are too low, and that'll get worse later on. Okay. And then when people involved in planning, project oversight, financial oversight, and the creativity in making design adjustments on the fly, along with the designer Kip Schultes and the contractor John, was huge. We were meeting weekly to make sure we were on top of everything on this project. Sometimes for the observer, it looked like a construction ballet going on out there, especially when they had all their equipment there, and it was an amazing show to watch. The contractor was very good at it. I had the scary task of hitting the first drive on the ribbon cutting opening day with a very large audience. I have testified in front of Congress, Senate, and I was never more nervous than I was that time. I knew if I screwed up, everyone would remind me of it in perpetuity. So luckily I didn't screw up, and we are now on the races to make the most birdies, eagles, and who knows, maybe an albatross will show up one of these times. Okay. And then we also completely renovated 3 satellite clubhouses. The Victory Clubhouse, where we reorganized it, we changed the actual physical layout. We updated all the interior furnishings, flooring, layout, and added a new pool table and ping pong table. So it looks really nice, and it's a fun place to go and play. We did the Lowman Hills Clubhouse, where we not only updated the interior, but updated the Computer Technology Club, which is very heavily used here. And we made it look like an Apple store, so it had a functional layout, easier to work with. And then also the Stradling Clubhouse, which is often used for the larger gatherings. A lot of different associations run their meetings there and stuff. And so we did the interior furnishing, flooring, and refreshed all the painting inside of that one. Then we ended up taking on another task. We did detailed renovations of 3 swimming pools where we drained them down. We took the plaster completely down and replastered the pools along with updating the pool equipment. That was 3 different pools, and those are large pools. It takes a bit of work and effort. We also built a new Pilates studio in the Stradling Satellite Complex. This Pilates studio is proving to be very successful and is being used by the membership in very large numbers. I have not done it yet. I'm not quite into that torture yet, so. We all collectively worked hard to create the new design for this tennis and pickleball building, to create something both very functional and aesthetically pleasing. And you can see the results of the design in the renderings we have placed in the entryway and the various places around the club. We'll start effectively on April 8th, where we'll start putting up fencing and all that kind of stuff. And then the actual demolition will start on the 22nd. So if you're interested in watching buildings go down, it'll be a fun thing to watch. We also renegotiated the ADP and Comcast contracts. It was no small task. We saved the membership and the club money in this negotiation. These negotiations were spearheaded by Glenn Hammer and Steve Wolk. 2 very tough negotiators. I was impressed watching them. They turned the screws on the company management to squeeze out the best deal they could. I know I don't want to be negotiating against them at all. They did a great job. And so those were the physical renovations. We also did some very significant overhaul and renovations of our governance documents, the processes and the procedures to bring Glen Eagles up to the current state statutes, which we were not at that point. This was no small task and was started 5 years ago, and we decided we were going to finish it this year. To address these complex issues, we formed a new special committee called the ARAC, which stands for the Asset Recovery and Advisory Committee. The committee consists of Art Cohen, Richard Feldman, Greg Benson, Past presidents Steve Wolk, Deborah Benson, and Dan Kobler. It also includes Marvin Horowitz, Trudy Cleos, our general manager, Craig Spina, and our CFO, Harvey Grunwald. With this team, we created the amended and restated Glen Eagles bylaws that now brings us into compliance with state statutes. We updated the grievance processes to match the updated procedures that had been changed in the state statutes also. Updating our rules documents also are in process, not completely finished yet, but the process will create a continuity from our government documents all the way through to the actual rules, so you'll be able to follow from one to the other. And that's was a pretty big effort. And this committee was also involved in the contract creation for both the ADP and Comcast, which are hard negotiators when it comes down to wording in a contract. I'd like to say it's going to be sad to see Harvey Fogel no longer on the Board of Governors, as he leaves us after successfully serving 7 years on the board. That's a lot of dedication. Yes. It was a great pleasure working with him very closely over the years. You might be. I'm also happy to welcome Zena Horowitz, who is filling the vacancy left by Harvey and his departure. And I look forward to working with her in this upcoming year. So in conclusion, and I shouldn't say in conclusion, it's 4 pages long, but that's okay. I want to give credit where credit is due. Make everybody aware of why Glen Eagles is one of the best clubs to be part of. Okay, to do that, I want to recognize some of our amazing staff we are so lucky to have. First, I want to thank Craig Spina for his leadership, long hours, I know I'm worth him a lot, and extreme dedication in the operation of this amazing Glen Eagles organization. He has to love all of us and our club to do everything he does. I say this because only love and passion can explain how much he does for the club and its membership. It has been an extreme privilege working with him this year, and are very lucky to have him as our general manager. Seriously. And he did not pay me to say that. I did that on my own. To me, also one of the most important people here is Catherine Torino, sitting over here. She is the organizer, planner, coordinator, and the overall glue that keeps everything together. She never stops amazing me with her knowledge and perseverance to get the right answers and provide support for whatever we're doing. She's amazing. The next would be Harvey Grunwald. Are you here somewhere, Harvey? Yeah. There he is in the back. Okay. Harvey's important to this club. He keeps all of our financial information in order, helps to plan our financial path forward, and manages to get, with his great team, to work seamlessly to help this club be solvent. Under his control is also Carolina Jimenez, our HR manager, who keeps all of our employees happy and is part of why we have great longevity here also. Most people don't get to see her, but she works behind the scenes. Reagan Samaniego. Did I get that right, Reagan? Over this past year, has been our food and beverage director. He directed us through one of the busiest seasons we have ever had. His responsibilities have now been expanded since he is now elevated to the clubhouse manager and oversees not only the food and beverage, but many different areas of the club. He's extremely dedicated to our club also over the 18 years he's been with us. Kristen Laraya, over the past year, has been our membership and marketing director. This has also been a busy year for her too. She has recently been elevated to clubhouse manager also, and not only oversees the membership and marketing, but many different areas of the club. Kristen and Reagan work hand in hand together to keep the running aspects of the club and its operations. She is also dedicated to our club and has all the inside information on every member of our club. So, okay, I'd like to also recognize Chris Reichert, our head chef, who has done a fantastic job, not only creating amazing food, but has assembled an excellent culinary team. Along with executive sous chef Kelly Green and sous chef Joseph Beam, this culinary team managed to introduce amazing food in unbelievable quantities. Like one day we had 1,000 plus. And he does it in 3 different venues, 3 different kitchens. So, and each one of them too small. And all this, both the food and beverage and the culinary, could not be done without the additional leadership and dedication provided by Kim Foncier, who in addition has a great wine knowledge, and Jason Forrestal that has recently returned to us, and we're excitedly welcoming back. And then there is Sandra Espinal, who does all the fantastic special event planning. We also can't And as I know can't forget this, but we can't forget the exceptional primary bar staff, Artie, Jean, Arios, who keep us well satisfied and somewhat inebriated. Yeah. I want to also recognize Tammy Klein. She's our incredible social director who creates all the numerous lecture and movie events, the rock and concert on the ranges, entertainment in the lounge that creates a fantastic ambiance and stimulates our members to get up and dance. It's always amazing. All the holiday events, she does all the holiday events to entertain the membership and their families. And the families can't wait to come down here and participate. I could go on and on. She does so much. And she is very dedicated to our club. So I really appreciate all of her work. And now we have Karen Mikas, our healthy lifestyle director, who tirelessly provides not only a great facility to work out in and a spa, but has created many healthy lifestyle organized activities and lectures. The facilities and activities are being heavily used by the membership, and she is constantly creating new challenging fitness activities that many people here are participating in, including the Pilates. So the next person is Joe Domino, our director of golf. And his team keep all of us golfers educated, proficient at our game when physically possible, and often very challenging task, but they provide all players with great tournaments and open play, even with the greater and greater numbers of players that we were getting. On top of all that, he is also a great guy, along with our professionals, Luke, Bryant, and Jake, and Megan, who does so many things to support them. So I want to thank them for everything, too. Okay. I know I'm getting along here. I also need to give a shout out to Jason Bagwell, our director of golf course maintenance. Yes. And his amazing team, Alec McDonald, who's our Legends course superintendent, and Kevin Browder, our Victory course superintendent, who keeps our courses beautiful and in such impeccable shape. Jason and Kevin worked above and beyond the call of duty in the creation of the new Victory golf course, and I thank them for their pride in their work as they were there for long hours. I even saw Kevin there 10 o'clock at night because one of the sprinklers didn't come on. So he was there a lot working for this. So I thank them for all their work. So on to the tennis. Mike Puck and his team, including Scott Harper, have created a whole new world of pickleball excitement and participation, enormous participation, while also promoting the great tennis play along with it. Mike, along with Scott, provide the membership with amazing tournament, open play, and maintains their facilities exceptionally well. Mike will have a challenge this year with the renovation of the tennis pickleball center building, but I feel he and his team are definitely up to the task, as he's even making phone calls now to update us on information he thinks we need to fix. So that's good. Some of the other unsung heroes that you don't see very often is David James. He's the Community Operations Director. Jean Duray, Housekeeping Director. And Franz Kosmias. Hopefully I got that right. He's our Community Area Maintenance Superintendent. They all should be recognized for their dedication to the overall beautification appearances of our club and our facilities and the areas around it, in it, into our buildings and everything. These guys work hard and they do it behind the scenes. So, yeah. And one of the others is Tom West. He's the security director. He is instrumental in providing the security that we get to enjoy here, plus the many times they are called for assistance from our membership, and must also be recognized for this. His team often goes the extra mile to assist everyone when help is needed, either directly or escorting and informing the Palm Beach Fire and Rescue Team to provide time-sensitive support. What's interesting is that the clubs all around us have had robberies, stolen cars. We have none of that. And that's up to him. He did a phenomenal job. Last but not least, there is Scott Kresman. I got that right, I think. And Jamie Allison, who work tirelessly on every event that you see. They're doing the behind-the-scenes work of keeping all the communications, the IT systems, and the audio-visual systems running for all the departments and activities. He's running the YouTube system as we're speaking. And they're also upgrading and improving all these systems to the next generation. So another one of those behind-the-scenes person that does an awful lot of work. And Scott has been with us 35 plus years. Yeah. So, and last, I want to thank all of our committees and the committee chairmen for all the work that they do, because we rely on their information, their input in each of the categories that they specialize in. And their chairs work hard, and I really appreciate all the input we get from them. And if you go to a meeting, you probably see most of the board sitting around the edge on almost every one of their meetings. So we really utilize their information. Okay. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Yeah. Okay. Next is Trudy for our treasurer's report.
Thank you, Mike, and good evening, all. I will be presenting my treasurer's report for the fiscal year November 1st. Is it on?
Just bring it a little closer. Just got to be a little closer. Yeah.
Okay. I will be presenting my treasurer's report for the fiscal year November 1st, 2022 through October 31st, 2023. Glen Eagles Country Club is financially sound. An audit of our financial records for the last fiscal year has been performed by our outside auditing firm, RSM US LLP, a firm that specializes in auditing country clubs, including over 100 clubs in the state of Florida. We expect to receive their independent auditor's report next month. A copy of the financial report will be made available to all members once it is received. While we have not yet seen the report, we believe that the audit evidence they obtained was sufficient to provide a basis for their audit opinion, which once again should read, in their opinion, the financial statements present fairly in all Financial position of Glen Eagles Country Club, Inc. as of October 31st, 2022 and 2023, and the changes in its owner's equity and its cash flows for the years ended in accordance with U.S. generally accepted accounting principles. For the November 1st, 2022 to October 31st, 2023 fiscal year, our club performed well against budget. We ended the fiscal year with a favorable variance of $496,042 against the operational budget. Factors contributing to that favorable outcome include 2,608 more rounds of golf than budgeted and 11,803 more food and beverage coverage than budgeted. In the last fiscal year, there were only 3 members suspended due to financial delinquency. As of today, there are no suspended members due to financial delinquency, and Glen Eagles does not own any units at this time. The second component of our budget is capital expenditures. Those expenses were $205,904, less than a budget of $2,932,973 because of postponement of some projects for various reasons and reallocation of some expenses. Glen Eagles spent $2,727,069 on the budgeted capital expenses. During the 2022-2023 fiscal year, Glen Eagles negotiated a new contract with ADT. This contract provides a reduced fee for Glen Eagles. Also, those members who had monthly charges, such as a $10 charge for alarm cellular communication, no longer pay that, as it is included in the new contract. The contract provides no charge to each resident, updated keypads, and water buddies. Each resident at the time of system upgrade has been able to put in additional features such as motion detectors, keyless door locks, and other products at a discounted cost to the residents. As of February 21st, ADT has completed 626 installations with an additional 7 scheduled. This means that there are 449 units that have not contacted ADT yet to update their alarm system. What? ADT. Yet. ADP. Yeah. A Comcast contract was negotiated beginning at the end of the last fiscal year and signed this year, giving all Glen Eagles members, beginning with the monthly bill you just received, an $11.86 reduction. Glen Eagles continues to work for its members to keep us updated and receiving the latest technology. Sales of units to new members result in receipt of new member capital contributions, which provide funds for annual capital expenses. Last fiscal year, out of a total of 65 sales, 44 sales were to new members and $3,972,500 in new member capital contributions. As Glen Eagles Country Club has no golf or tennis memberships available, we are relying on our golf and tennis transfer program. To date, the golf and tennis transfer programs have resulted in 84 transfers. The tennis transfer program has had 54 transfers, and the golf program has had 30 transfers to date. There are still 70 golf and 51 tennis members on the respective transfer lists. Both our 800 golf memberships and 600 tennis memberships are capped by our documents. These transfer programs allow our new members who purchase units that do not have a particular desired sports membership to obtain them. Equally important, it provides existing members a vehicle to step away from a sports membership they no longer utilize. For contracts executed on and after February 1st, 2024, as well as contracts executed before February 1st, 2024, and submitted to the membership office after February 1st, 2024, and prior contracts that do not close by May 1st, 2024, the capital contributions for new tennis and social, golf and social, or golf, tennis, and social members is $95,000. The new social-only members is $125,000. In the current fiscal year that began November 1st, 2023 through January 31st, 2024, we have a positive variance in the operating budget of $11,756. Regarding the capital budget, we have spent $817,299 against $2,249,137 that is budgeted. Through January 2024, golf rounds were 1,784 less than budget due to all the rain we had, and food and beverage covers were 1,495 more than budget. As for the sales and new member capital contributions for this fiscal year, to date, there is a total of 15 closings and contracts for sales scheduled to close before October 31st, 2024, of which 8 are new members. If all these transactions close, the net results will be receipt of $665,000 of new capital contribution. The club currently has 313 employees, of which 222 are full-time year-round employees, and this year's payroll budget is $14,676,416. More than 50% of the 222 full-time employees have more than 5 years of service. We have 40 employees with more than 20 years of service and 10 employees with more than 30 years of service. This year at the annual holiday party, Glen Eagles honored 2 employees that have 35 years of service. Glen Eagles uses Bank of America for its banking needs. As of this morning, Glen Eagles has $6,838,986.46 in the bank, consisting of overnight interest-bearing, U.S. Treasury-backed money market accounts, and U.S. Treasury bills, earning approximately 5.25%. As of January 31st, the club's property, plant, and equipment assets, after accounting for depreciation, total a little over $34 million. In addition, Glen Eagles has a $2 million line of credit available should the need arise. We have a new beautiful Victory Golf Course and a state-of-the-art Pilates studio that opened at the end of the fiscal year. These projects were funded by replacing new member capital contributions that were advanced for the community maintenance facility, the veranda renovation, and certain other capital projects with the proceeds of a $10 million loan. The loan had been negotiated with Bank of America several years ago with a favorable interest rate of 2.83% and interest only due until April 2025. Pursuant to the terms of the loan, it had to be drawn down by March 2023. Interest only on that loan until it's due on that loan until April 2025, followed by a 10-year payoff of principal and interest. By structuring the loan in this manner, the existing loan for the 2014 clubhouse renovation will be retired before payment of principal and interest are due on the new loan. As of today, Glen Eagles has $15,770,656.28 in outstanding loans for the 2014 clubhouse renovation, the Healthy Lifestyle Center, the Community Maintenance Center, and the Veranda, Grill Room, and Glen Bar renovations. The $215 monthly assessment that each member pays covers the monthly principal and interest payments for the clubhouse and Healthy Lifestyle loans, as well as the interest on the $10 million loan. As of April 2024, we will begin construction of a new modern tennis and pickleball center. As with the renovation of the Victory Golf Course, this project will also not need any additional bank financing. The financial strength of our club is built on a strong procedural and organizational structure. Each year during the summer, management constructs a proposed operating budget for the next fiscal year, having each department start with a zero base and then build a budget. All departments' proposed budgets are combined into a proposed budget for the club. Capital expenses are done separately and included separately as part of the proposed budget. In late September or early October, there's a meeting that lasts 2 to 3 days where department heads present their proposed budget to both the Budget and Finance Committee and the board. Following these presentations, the Budget and Finance Committee meets to consider the proposed budget and make any recommendations to the board to change the proposed budget. At the October board meeting, each recommendation from the Budget and Finance Committee is considered by the board and either accepted, modified, or not accepted. Also, any additional changes proposed by a governor at the October board meeting are considered and voted on. Finally, approval of the budget with accepted changes for the next fiscal year is voted on by the board. This process results in a sound budget. Informed by the work of our Glen Eagles committees and management, the Board of Governors is responsible for the business and administration of Glen Eagles Country Club, Inc. Further, the board considers and acts upon requests for budget deviations and financing proposals and considers the acts of other requests with a financial component. Other than payroll, loan payments, sales tax, and 401k payments, all disbursements by Glen Eagles are presently done by check and require 2 signatures of authorized governors. These disbursements occur on a weekly basis and have supporting documentation justifying each check for the signing governors to review. We are currently working on moving into an automated system to make this an easier and more secure process for all involved, utilizing ACH payments as opposed to issuing checks, which could be subject to mail fraud. Our general manager and COO, Craig Spina, who together with his manager team has the day-to-day responsibility to perform against the budget. Biweekly reports of food and beverage revenues and covers and club-wide payroll are provided to Craig Spina and the respective department heads. These reports are also provided to the president, executive vice president, second vice president, treasurer, and assistant treasurer of the board, as well as the chair and vice chair of the Budget and Finance Committee. This provides another check of performance against the budget and a more timely method to react to variances other than waiting for the monthly financials. There are so many to thank for the hard work that goes into ensuring our financial strength. Thank you to all of the committees, my fellow governors, and Craig Spina, along with his entire management staff. Also, thank you to my fellow members for your strong support for our club. I want to express my gratitude to Harvey Grunwald, our CFO, Marie Desillo, our controller, Gloria Barato, accounts payable, and Bianca David, accounts receivable. Among the 4 of them, and Carolina Hernandez, of Human Resources Director, they have 95 years of service to Glen Eagles. All of their dedication has been remarkable and very much appreciated. I also would like to thank our Budget and Finance Committee for the time and effort they put in. This includes performing internal operational audits of various departments throughout the year. Last but not least, I want to thank our Assistant Treasurer, Roger Padover, for his assistance to me in the service to the club. In conclusion, Glen Eagles is financially sound and organized, and to ensure it remains so. Thank you.
So I wanted to say one more thing because I slipped over it when I was going through my very short speech. I wanted to say I've been truly blessed to have one of the best board of governors any president could hope for. And I look forward to working with everyone again this next year. And I wanted to make sure that everybody knew that. They're great.
All right, we're going to open the floor for questions. Do me a favor, raise your hand. Harvey and Kristen have microphones. Stand up, let us know who you are. I'll get one more, Kristen. And then let the board know, or myself, who you would like to answer the question, or we'll figure it out. I have one question. I'm going to have to put my glasses on here. That was sent in today. There is a rumor, come on, around the club saying that the new tennis center will not have tables for card playing or mahjong. Is this true? So, as you're probably aware, the tennis center financial responsibility is borne by the tennis members. Now, does that mean that non-tennis members play cards at the tennis center? I imagine they do. What we designed the tennis center to be is a facility for pickleball and tennis and social activities. And looking at the FF&A, we have 9 36-inch squares, which is table like you would sit at for lunch, a 4-top. We have 14 high-top tables, and then we have 72 high-top bar stools, essentially, and 30 regular chairs. So I imagine if the tennis members will let our social members play cards over there, then they will be allowed to. But it's not something that we send out to the general community and say, come on over here and play cards. It just happened. It happened during COVID. I think around 11:30, although with pickleball, its dynamics have changed a little bit. Around 11:30, it's very slow, and there's been no objection to that. So that's the answer to that. Mr. Kaplan?
Yeah, is this on?
Yes, sir.
Trudy, first of all, this is for Trudy. I assume that the delay of the clubhouse renovation makes it more easily for the club to have our debt service held at that $215 a month level, rather than going up to maybe $300, $350 for about a year. By delaying it, we'll keep it at that level, and when one comes off, one will go back on. I think, and you said the year 2026.
Our CFO would like to answer that.
Okay, thanks.
Right now, the assessment is $215 a month. In April of 2025, it will drop down to $200 a month, because at that time, the 2014 clubhouse loan will disappear. The principal portion of the $10 million loan will kick in. So it's going to go from 215 to 200 in April of 25. In May of 28, in theory, it should then drop down to $110 because the healthy lifestyle loan will disappear. But the reality is there will be a new clubhouse loan that will be kicking in at that time. So the delay of 1 year in the project really doesn't affect the assessment.
Yeah, there's
But
about
it does keep it at that
So it'll be
$200
$215, it's going to go
level.
down to 200, then it's going to drop to 110, but the new loan will kick in, which will probably bring it up back over 200 to 250.
Right. Thanks, Howard.
So a good rule of thumb for social, which a clubhouse renovation would be $10 per member per million, 10 years. $10 per member per million, 10 years, 6% interest. If it goes, so $20 million renovation, what's it going to be? Come on. $200. Okay. That's at a 10-year loan. If it's 12 years, it could drop a little bit. So you can do the math. If you're left with $100, we do a clubhouse renovation. If it's 20 million, it's going to be 200. If it's 5 million, it'll be $250. Remember, this is 2028. Okay, we've got plenty of time to think about it. We have a lot of planning to do, but I think it's good to know the indicators. $10 per member per million. That's 6% interest. Hopefully, the bank committed to us. Not that we're in the in any way, shape, or form going to borrow money right now, but at a 5.48% interest today. Hopefully, by 27, when we start renovating, if that's in the cards, maybe it comes down a little more. So, other questions? Yes, Mr. Goldberg.
Yeah, hi. So you mentioned how food service has increased. And there are a lot of golfers out there who are playing early to mid-afternoon, late afternoon. Is there any way of keeping the grill room up in 7 days a week, at least in the bar area?
Well, the Grill Reagan is open for lunch service and beyond how many days a week? 7 days a week.
7 days a week, sir.
Yeah.
From
I'll let
January
Reagan
through-
answer that.
The grill room is open Monday through Sunday in January, February, March, and then Monday through Saturday in April. Opens at 11 o'clock for lunch. Then we run midday menu from 2 to 4, 4:30, and then dinner is down in the grill room 4 to 5 times a week. Is where we currently stand. Obviously, there's going to be some variances based on lobster night or rock on the range, things like that. But
Are we getting, and I understand your question, are we getting much participation in the midday?
midday is no, I wouldn't call it a lot. I mean, it takes care of the people it needs to take care of. We're a very social club. A lot of our golfers play early in the morning,
Mhm.
or a lot of our card players come to lunch before they go play cards. But we're here to provide food service from 11 o'clock when we open all the way till we close the club every day. Monday's the only day without a midday menu.
If there's a better way that we can communicate to the membership, Mr. Goldberg, speak with Reagan, let us know. I know that people have asked me, hey, I can't get anything in, between the lunch service ends at 2:30 and dinner starting at 5 or 5:30. And I say, well, we are open. Maybe we can do a better job communicating it. Harvey, go ahead and answer that one. Can they go without a paper statement?
Let me look into it. At this point, I don't know because the system prints up everybody's statements. I wonder if we could
Throw it
put
in the
in some-
garbage.
Yeah. Well, when you're stuffing 1,082 statements, you're not
No,
going
I
to be going
got you.
through a list. But if we could put something in there to say that, I will find that out.
Okay, thank you. Other questions? Yes. Harvey, you get her. Thank you.
Hi, good evening. I have a quick question. You indicated there's about $6 million sitting in the bank earning interest. I'm curious, within the past year, how much interest has been earned in that account?
It's basically earning between 5.2 and 5.25%.
Right,
But at certain times during the past year, that number was up to over 10 million.
sure.
And honestly, off the top of my head, I do not recall what the interest income number is.
Would it be possible to find out what that interest income is?
Send me an email tomorrow and I will send you an email back.
Great, thank you. Appreciate it.
Good question. This isn't the only venue to ask questions. Please, folks, whether it's an email, I call it a drive-by in the hallway. If you want to meet with one of us, let us know. We're always here to answer your questions. This is a formality as an annual membership meeting, but we're always happy to sit down with you. Yes, Mr. Spiegel. GPS? So that's a good, no, sir. No. Yes, it's been talked about. No, we haven't made a decision, and a survey possibly. But we have to make a decision. The board approved in theory, but it's going to go past the budget year, so it would probably need to be discussed again. They approved a GPS system. We have to make a decision by July. So when we bring in our new fleet, they'll manufacture our fleet and asking our representative, hey, when do we need to tell you that we do or don't want the GPS? We need to have an answer by July. I've certainly heard a lot of input on the GPS, not favorable. So I think with the board and committees and our staff, let us know what you think, because it may not be the right thing. And we want to do what's right. Yes, sir. And then, oh, yeah. Sorry.
Hi,
Yeah.
Debbie Tatel. I'm going back to the question that came in through earlier to you
The
today
card play? Sure.
about the card playing. So first of all, we all live in Florida, and there's many of us that love being outside. So going to the tennis pickleball center to play cards or mahjong is a wonderful attribute, and we all really appreciate having the ability to go there, no matter if we're a tennis or a golf member or a social member. Right now, I don't know how many tables are actually there, but it seems that it's being decreased to 9 tables that would be a square top for playing cards.
Right.
I did read the rules before I came, and right now the rules state that at noon you can start playing there, and it's gender neutral,
Right.
and anyone can play there
Right.
as possible. It also states that we could play at the veranda when the veranda's not open.
Yep.
But there has been women that have been asked to leave that
On the veranda?
environment.
Okay, I will look into that. So in seeing this question today, I touched base with Mike Puck. He'll be back tomorrow from vacation. And I asked him to meet with me over there tomorrow. Let's count the number of tables that are there. I spoke with our interior designers. We have plenty of time. We haven't committed to the high tops. And so if we need to, if it was working the way it was with the number of 36-inch square tops, and Mike Puck and the committee feel that that's what we should maintain, then that's what we'll maintain. We would definitely we have no plans of taking them away for less card play. I can promise you that.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
And then also, could you just check into the veranda usage as
I
well?
sure will.
Another outdoor?
Yeah, I need to find, do you know who asked you to leave? It would be helpful, but I
No,
don't need any name. Okay.
I
Well,
don't know.
Reagan's going to look into that.
But
Yeah.
those are just the rules if you look into the rules right now.
What's that?
The veranda card play rule, it states at designated tables, and the tables that are designated are the ones outside because
Right.
the ones inside are not the right size.
No, I know, it's for outside, but
Right.
people were asked to leave there as well. They were told you couldn't play there.
Yeah, we will, if it's our mistake, we will fix it. And thanks
Okay.
for bringing it up.
So, and thank you, because we love playing outside and the weather.
You bet.
Hopefully will be agreeable. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Good question.
Mr. Spina, in reference to the question about the billing statements, I was just informed by Catherine, who in her former life was our accounts receivable supervisor, that there is a box that we can check off so that you don't get your
Good.
statement. The problem is we do a lot of mailings with the statements. You would not get those mailings. That's the problem.
All righty. Who had their, yeah.
Yeah, just a quick question for
Sure.
us year-rounders. During the summer months, downstairs, it's hardly ever open. And the dining room is open all the time, or most of the time. I think it would be nice, a lot more people would be interested in eating in the grill room during the summer than upstairs.
Right. Reagan's he's waving his hands. He would like to answer that question. Don't run.
The food and beverage operation is open 7 days a week during the summer months. That's 7 lunches. We split it 3 lunches in the grill room, 3 lunches in Legends, and then you have the brunch on Sunday. Dinner time, when it's 4 dinners a week, it's 2 in Legends, which is Wednesday and Friday, and that's due to the volume. And then Tuesdays and Sundays are alternated between the veranda, which we can now use year round now that's enclosed, and the grill room. So that's basically it. I think people would be really upset being shut out of their club in the summertime because we decided to use the grill room when people want to use the lounge for music in the lounge and things like that. But we do use the grill room essentially 50% of the time.
Other questions? You have any questions for our board? Oh, who?
I've heard that,
Mr. Cohen.
I've heard that it's been talked about lack of office space here at Glen Eagles for the offices. I don't know whether the renovation of the area that you're talking about here is going to increase that. Was there any thought given to the tennis center, maybe even adding a second floor to have offices on top of that to relieve some of that lack of office space?
Good question. We are a little shy on office space. The short answer is we are going to take away the existing office space, which is on the perimeter side of the west side of the building. That'll give you a much better view from the lounge. It'll increase the lounge seating dramatically. if you can picture this, where the north side water feature is, one of the concepts is to take and create a floor, which would basically go from the offices around near the elevator up by valet. It would touch the veranda and come back around to the lounge. It would do twofold. It would increase your lounge by 1,800 feet plus whatever the office space is. So probably close to 3,000 square feet additional lounge space. Below that, it would take what we originally had spec'd out as office space of 980 something square feet in the waterfall room. In our focus groups, it was very clear. Member says, we don't want to lose our waterfall room. It's important. We've added 16 or 1,800 square feet below that upper level. So we've added, 80% more office space. Not many windows there, but very functional. And so that's the plan. We basically, I think, as I said earlier, probably 5,000 square feet of additional space with the veranda. We've got a lot of information coming, a lot of renderings and things where you'll be able to understand what I'm talking about. But that's a really good question. Being able to put anything on top of that tennis center is probably not going to happen, because your entire roof area is your mechanical, all your HVAC, a lot of the ducting coming through. And we really didn't build that to have another structure on top of it. Yeah, good question though. Yes.
Hi there. Back here. Glen Eagles maintains their grounds on a beautiful, beautiful basis. Have we ever considered being the management company to all our associations?
Next question. No, that's it's a good question. We hear this time and time again. I think it's evidenced by association in some areas, the landscaping, and then you come down the middle of Legends Way or the golf courses. So has it been talked about? Of course it's been talked about. Are we in a position to make changes or anything like that? No. It is a very, very, very big task. If we ever thought of doing something like that, I'd sure sit down with David from DAPA, who's been here for many, many years and has done a yeoman's job of keeping things organized on a budget that could be construed as very challenging. So right now, my politically correct answer is that, and I stick to it. Yes. Oh, hold on, Doc, and then Mr. Bloomstein.
Shell Foreman. This is one to the board. I don't think they've answered any questions yet. I know that Glen Eagles Country Club in this area had competition in terms of attracting, keeping new members. And I'm sure everybody on the board would want Glen Eagles, and we certainly are doing it with our projected improvements to maintain our status on that level. But my question to the board is, and whoever wants to answer it, is we are achieving a status now that's being recognized. And I want to know who on the board thinks, if anybody, that we should go after the next level for competition. In other words, they're perceived, by me at least, their status of country club levels. And we are on a level of a certain status. And given our expansion and our improvements and our renovations, is there anybody on the board that thinks, instead of just trying to maintain our level, that we should try to advance our status, at least perceived status, in the future?
Shelley, I'll try to answer that question. I think one of the distinguishing features of our club is contrasted with other clubs in the area, whether it's Polo or St. Andrews or Wycliffe and the like, is the fact that we are relatively small. The culture of our club, I think, is very conducive to friendly nature of our club. If we wanted to compete with some of the other clubs, we have certain disadvantages. Number one, we're landlocked. So we have difficulty building additional homes. We have additional concerns about the types of units that we can build here. So we're at that disadvantage. Number two, many of the clubs in the area that have achieved the additional level have initiation fees far in excess of the $95,000 that we currently charge right now. We can certainly, as Addison has done, or some of the other clubs has done, ask our new members to contribute a significant amount of money in excess of $95,000. Number one, I'm not sure that's the kind of group of people that we want to have in. And number two, I don't think that we can build ourselves and have the stature that you're thinking about. I think we have certain limitations in that regard. I think at the end of the day, I've been here for 15 years right now. Before I came to Glen Eagles, my wife and I had looked at many of the clubs in the area, and we came to the conclusion that this club is very, very special. Number one, given its size. Number two, the amount of money that we pay in dues and the initial capital contributions. And I think we're a very, very progressive club, unlike other clubs where boards are limited by the amount of money that we can spend. Our rules allow us to have discretion in terms of how we pay and how we fund our various capital contributions. So I don't see us raising our statute as some of the other clubs in the area. However, I do see us making vast improvements, as you've heard tonight, whether it's a tennis center, whether it's the clubhouse here. Before we turn around, we'll have to be making some changes to the Legends Golf Course, which right now is about 9 years old or so. So I guess the short answer is I don't really see us changing our statute for some of the reasons. But I think at the end of the day, our members are pretty happy with what we have right here.
One more thing here, too. We have a very unique club here. We're very homogeneous. Everybody works well with everybody else. We have people live in condos and homes. Nobody cares. Nobody makes any difference to them. We all love being with each other, and that's unique.
My concern is with food and beverage. With the additional spaces that we're putting in, I'm more concerned about the kitchen.
Yep.
And I'd like to know,
So are we.
do we have any plans?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, so that's a great question. I was talking to Jason Forstall this morning, and he had the same concerns, and Reagan had the same concerns. We never have too much space, so don't construe maybe some of these additions as dining. Is it a function? Is it music? Is it the ceremony for your granddaughter's bat mitzvah but what we have done is we have to still commit to, but we have a consultant that designs kitchens. And theoretically, we're going to have to just basically level this kitchen inside, remove the equipment. A lot of the equipment we will save. We're looking at, because of how we are looking at designing the waterfall room more as a buffet area, we are looking at the service area. Can we push the kitchen out? Or do we need to reconfigure it so that it functions better for the space? The veranda, there's actually an area we haven't even embarked on looking at by increasing the size, but back where the old little fire pit used to be, if you push the kitchen back there. So those are two elements and designs that we're looking at. We're never going to set the club up for failure in the back of the house. We know how difficult it is right now. The designer, the kitchen, the consultant that we're going to engage did a really, really good presentation for the Club Managers Association of America and how they lay these kitchens out. So chef's had his first conversation, we engage him, and then we start going through the process of both kitchens. So yes, sir. Coming from a restaurateur, your question is well received, and we are definitely looking into it.
That makes me happy.
Yes, sir. You bet. Other questions? Well, we do have brownies and cookies in the lounge. Folks, thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate it.
Okay, the board will now convene to the boardroom downstairs, and then we'll elect our officers, and then we'll let everybody know. Thank you.